How many times have you heard,
Jesus H. fucking popsicle, I still don't have my billing reports, but you've got time to sit here and Google your ass off. Well, I know one thing. You've got your review coming up next week, and I can't wait to start checking me off some big fucking boxes. Attitude, 4. Performance, 4. Management skills, 4. Works well with others. Ha! That's a fucking joke. What is this bullshit? Who's this prick? Some loser gets his head blown off in the metro.
when you make any negative remark about your job, whether it's from a boss, colleague, or family, only to be met with, well, at least you have a job? This is what's known as reframing. Reframing is a psychology technique often used in cognitive behavioral therapy, among others. And it looks something like this. If your job requires a lot of heavy lifting and manual labor, try reframing it as, instead of being mad about being sore after work, you can simply look at it as getting paid to work out. It's basically a way to think more positively about a negative situation. While it is well and good that we ought to be happy with what we have, and hopefully we've earned it, this video touches on reframing as a tool used by businesses and corporate America, maybe your friends and family too, as a way to take advantage of you. While reframing can help people better their mental health, it can also be used as a manipulation technique. And just like my last video, this isn't going to be some kind of video where I'm suddenly Anyways, life is sometimes difficult. We don't get what we want, and we get a lot of what we don't want. We can start to slip into a mindset of life shouldn't have to be this hard. What is wrong with me that I always mess everything up? Or my life is meaningless. If we continue to play these same thoughts over and over again in our minds, they become more believable. They literally start to shape us. This is where the skills of reframing come into play. When we change our point of view on any given situation, the facts remain the same, but a deliberate shift in how we see it happens. We can replace the dismal, energy-stealing thoughts with more responsible ones, such as, I think there might be something important for me to learn here. These are examples of reframing problems as challenges, and taking them on as such. This is healthy, and I ask that more people try this. So how exactly is my workplace or my friends and family using this technique against me? When a company does a quarterly review and the company's stock takes a sharp dip, sales decline, and so forth, oftentimes the pay of those at the top is left unchanged, despite the fact that they get to make the bigger decisions, get to throw around more weight as to how the company is governed. Instead, usually it leads to fewer and smaller raises, less hiring and promotions for anyone below them in the company. One way they justify this selfish behavior is through reframing. Oftentimes employees never say anything, and they really should. And when they do, you might be met with, be happy you have a job, or be happy you got a raise at all, or you didn't get your hours cut. And keep in mind, these are valid claims, but maybe, just maybe, is your company using reframing as a way to get you to be subordinate? As a way to get you to not complain and do your job? Is a bad sales year seemingly only affecting employees at the bottom? In psychology, it doesn't take long for anyone in a position of power to start abusing it. And this is no different in your workplace. When an executive sees a pay cut due to horrible sales, it understandably makes sense if everyone sees a pay cut too. But watch your company's stock if it is public, and pay close attention if you think you're being taken advantage of. How about in our private lives? Let's say you're dating an abusive narcissist, and you can probably see where I'm going with this. They might verbally abuse you and then try to reframe it as, be happy it wasn't violent. Or they might spend money they don't have trying to make their social status seem higher than it really is, and reframe it as, at least we weren't broke. Or maybe you have toxic parents and they verbally and physically abuse you, but they reframe it as, be happy that I feed and shelter you. Maybe you had someone make unwanted advances and touch you, and you were told, be grateful they didn't take it further. The problem here isn't that those things aren't true. Any of the situations I listed off escalating will make it worse. But the issue is you're not consenting to reframing, because the way it currently is framed does not need to be changed. Part of the reason therapists even use reframing in the first place is because the patient wants help. They want to better themselves. The therapist's job is to help them use reframing, not force them into it. The whole point of reframing is to help you look at reality in a healthier way. So please explain to me how telling someone who is verbally abused to be glad it wasn't physical, how is that healthy? Or explain to me how your boss cutting your pay and pocketing the difference and being told to be happy you have a job is in any way healthy. What is healthy is to help them reframe the situation so that they aren't grateful it didn't escalate to something worse, but instead reframe it in a way that helps them stand up for themselves. Instead of being happy you have a job, reframe it as to be happy you put your foot down. Be happy you stood up for yourself. Be happy you said something. And maybe you don't get what you wanted and they get away with it. It is unfortunate, but that does happen. But as I said earlier, when we change our point of view on any given situation, the facts remain the same, but a deliberate shift is made in how we see it. So not to get all virtue signally and preachy on a soapbox, but I think that's all I wanted to say in this video. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe.